If you grew up anywhere from the 1950s to today, there's a good chance you played with something that probably should have sent you straight to the ER.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Some launched missiles, some contained controlled substances, some even contained actual radioactive material. Today, we're counting down the 15 most dangerous toys ever sold in stores, some that collectors still search for. Let's go. Welcome back to the channel, and before we get started, this video covers toys that caused real injuries, and in some tragic cases, even fatalities. Some of the stories you'll hear may not be suitable for young children, or for viewers who are sensitive to this type of content. I also want to acknowledge all the victims and their families who were affected by these incidents. They should always be remembered, and because of that, all the proceeds from this video are going to the Rady Children's Hospital Foundation. If you'd like to support them, there's a link down there in my description, or by watching this video, you can donate to the children's charity of your choice. There's also links down below with important information that can keep your kids safe when playing with their toys. Thank you all for watching, and now let's begin the video. At number 15, the Slip and Slide by Wham-O. Made in 1961 and still being sold today. Wham-O's iconic Slip and Slide was designed strictly for kids under the age of 12, but adults used them anyway. The result? Serious neck and spinal injuries, including paralysis. That's what happened when heavier adult bodies slid and stopped abruptly. In 1993, the CPSC issued a major safety warning after lawsuits and reported injuries. The CPSC is the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, a federal agency created in 1972 to protect the public from unreasonable risks of injury or death associated with consumer products. Number 14, Moon Shoes by Nickelodeon and Hart Enterprises, released in 1992. Marketed as mini trampolines for your feet, Moon Shoes were notoriously unstable, leading to twisted and even fractured ankles. There was no national recall, but plenty of ER visits, and original box sets still sell for about $60 to $120. Number 13, Creepy Crawlers ThingMaker, made by Mattel in 1964 and well into the 70s. Mattel's ThingMaker let kids pour what they called plastic goop into metal molds and cook them on a heating plate that reached nearly 400 degrees. Burns and toxic fumes were common concerns, and it was eventually discontinued in the 1970s when new regulations banned toys that used high heat. And collectors are still searching for sealed sets that go for about $300 today. Number 12, The Water Wiggle by Wham-O, released in 1961. I remember playing with this during the hot summer months. Wham-O's Water Wiggle attached to a garden hose and whipped around unpredictably. After tragic accidents, including reported fatalities, Wham-O recalled about 3 million units in 1978. At number 11, Magnetics, made by Mega Brands from 2003 to 2007. Magnetics was a construction toy using magnetic rods and steel balls, and became one of the most popular building sets in the early 2000s. However, some magnets came loose and were swallowed by children. If more than one magnet reached the intestines, they could attract each other internally, tearing tissue, leading to surgeries and at least one child losing their life. Nearly 4 million sets were recalled by the CPSC, starting in March of 2006. And newer sets made after the recall don't contain this safety hazard. Number 10, Clackers, made by multiple manufacturers over the years and were popular in the late 60s and early 70s all around the world. Clackers were 2 acrylic balls connected by a string, and you swing them up and down, smashing them together, making a really loud noise. The issue? They often shattered, sending sharp fragments flying at high speeds. The CPSC eventually banned these versions like the Kerbangers. Number 9, Aquadots, made by Spin Master in 2007. Spin Master's Aquadots were colorful beads that fused with water. Unfortunately, the coating contained a chemical, 1,4-butanediol, what the human body converts into GHB, a controlled substance. The first reaction is that the person will become drowsy, sometimes slipping into a coma. Several children were hospitalized, and 4.2 million kits were recalled. Number 8, Cabbage Patch Snacktime Kids, made by Mattel in 1996. Mattel's Snacktime dolls used a motorized mouth to eat plastic snacks. The problem is that they didn't stop chewing. Kids' fingers and hair would get caught in the mechanisms. Over 100 complaints were filed, and Mattel launched a voluntary refund program in 1997. Collectors today still search for this doll, with sealed versions selling for $200 to $300 today. Number 7, CSI Fingerprint Examination Kit, made by Planet Toys in 2007. Based on the popular TV show, CBS licensed the CSI branded fingerprint kit that became infamous when independent testing found the fingerprint powder contained tremolite, one of the most lethal forms of asbestos, up to 5% in some samples. States halted sales, and refund and recall programs began. Number 6, Battlestar Galactica missile firing ships, made by Mattel in 1978. Mattel launched the Battlestar Galactica ships with spring-loaded red missiles. After a tragic choking incident linked to a swallowed missile, Mattel modified the line to non-firing versions, and the entire toy industry re-evaluated projectile safety, with the Kenner Company also following suit with their Star Wars toys and removing the rocket firing feature from Boba Fett, in which only prototypes of this toy remain today, and it was never sold at stores. You can find box versions of the Battlestar Galactica ships with the firing missiles selling for about $600 to $1,200. Number 5, the Gilbert Glass Blowing Kit, made by A.C. Gilbert Company, first made in the 1920s. The A.C. Gilbert Company once sold a glass blowing kit that taught kids how to heat and shape glass tubes using an open alcohol flame. This meant burns from the molten glass, fire risks, and inhaling hot fumes. No recalls existed back then. It was simply discontinued as safety standards evolved. But today, complete sets now command $600 to $1,000 from collectors. Number 4, the Easy Bake Oven, the 2006 model made by Hasbro. Collectors remember the original Easy Bake Oven made by Kenner in 1963. But when Hasbro acquired Kenner in the 1990s, they released it again in a 2006 redesign, which included a slot-style door. And kids' fingers got trapped inside the heating chamber. The CPSC received 29 reports of finger entrapment, severe burn reports, and at least one partial finger amputation. This had Hasbro recall over 1 million ovens. Number 3, Sky Dancers by Galoob, first released in 1994. The Galoob Sky Dancers looked harmless until you launched them. These flying dolls shot unpredictably into the air, often directly into faces. And the CPSC reported over 150 injuries, scratched corneas, broken teeth, facial cuts, and even concussions. Nearly 9 million units were recalled in the year 2000. At number 2, lawn darts. There were so many manufacturers who made lawn darts, and in 1970, the Food and Drug Administration classified these as hazards, and future models being sold had to meet 3 requirements. 1, they had to have a warning label. 2, they had to include instructions for use. And 3, they could not be sold in toy stores or toy departments. The Consumer Product Safety Commission linked these toys to 3 children losing their life and more than 6,000 injuries. Lawn darts were fully banned in 1988, and almost a decade later, in 1997, the US government urged all remaining owners to destroy them. At number 1, and probably the strangest toy ever made, the Gilbert U-238 Atomic Energy Lab, made by the A.C. Gilbert Company, released in 1950. It was the atomic age in the US, and the A.C. Gilbert Company released one of the most unbelievable toys in history, a full atomic energy lab for kids. This science kit came with a working Geiger counter, a cloud chamber, and real uranium-bearing ore samples. Less than 5,000 units were sold before it was discontinued in 1951 due to low sales and growing concerns about the radiation exposure. And today, a complete set can sell for $13,000 to $16,000 at auction. Out of all the toys on this list, which one surprised you the most, and what toys would you add to this list? Let us know down there in the comments. And if you found this video interesting, please give this video a like, and to see more videos about vintage toys and their history, click the videos on your screen now. And as always, my friends, thank you, and I will see you next time.